wrestling fans, to an episode here of Tim Reynolds Show's WWE show review, and we are live here today reviewing the premium live events this past weekend in July 12th and 13th here in 2025, where we would see WWE Saturday Night's main event and WWE Evolution. Welcome, wrestling fans, to this WWE show review on Tim Reynolds Show. Please make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And guys, we're getting things started with what happened at Saturday night's main event. As we've seen here on July 12th, Saturday night's main event had 4 big matches, including 2 big title matches. And guys, to get us kicked off on Saturday night's main event, we would see the legend killer, the Viper, Randy Orton. And guys, he would be accompanied to the ring by none other than Jelly Roll, as he would come to help out Randy Orton and have his back for this matchup that would kick us off here on Saturday night's main event. And the crowd there in Atlanta, Georgia was pumped up to see the Viper go one-on-one with the Scottish Warrior, Drew McIntyre. And guys, this was huge because Drew McIntyre was accompanied to the ring by none other than Logan Paul, the Maverick. What? Are you kidding me? This blew my mind, guys. I am not kidding. I did not expect to see Logan Paul, one of the guys accompanying Drew McIntyre, to any match, let alone this one. But after what happened on Friday Night SmackDown, when we seen Jelly Roll and Logan Paul get into it, and then Drew McIntyre would actually deliver a Claymore to the side of the head of Jelly Roll, knocking him down temporarily, and that's what led to Jelly Roll being accompanied to accompany Randy Orton at ringside, having his back, having his friend's back, and it looks like Logan Paul is gonna have Drew McIntyre's back. This threw me off, man, and I was not expecting this to kick us off on WWE Saturday night's main event. And this was big for me because Drew McIntyre came into this matchup as the favorite, and we would see one hell of a match between these two. But what everybody's talking about in WWE is what happened ringside. That's right, Logan Paul would get involved, and I tell you what, it was not good. What's going on, Ray? What's going on, chat? Thanks for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show's WWE show review, as we would see Drew McIntyre take a page out of Randy Orton's book and really deliver some punishment throughout this matchup. Even Randy Orton taking chops to the chest and not flexing whatsoever. But what everybody's talking about, guys, is Jelly Roll and Logan Paul getting into it at ringside, and we would see Jelly Roll shove Logan Paul down after Logan Paul put his hands on Jelly Roll one too many times. And then, guys, we would see at the end of Saturday night's main event here, Logan Paul getting in the face of Randy Orton, after we would see Drew McIntyre get the victory here, or I should say Randy Orton get the victory here, after we would see Jelly Roll and Logan Paul unfortunately provide a distraction as Drew McIntyre started talking smack to Jelly Roll, and then an RKO out of nowhere would put Drew McIntyre away, as Randy Orton would get the victory here in our first match of Saturday night's main event. But afterwards is what everybody's really talking about, because Jelly Roll came into the ring to help out Randy Orton after their matchup, because Logan Paul started to attack Randy Orton while he was down, and then we would see a Claymore out of nowhere from Drew McIntyre here on Saturday night's main event. And I tell you what, guys, it looks like we are going to have ourselves a tag team matchup at SummerSlam. That's right, guys, it's been made official because of this interaction since Friday Night SmackDown and at Saturday night's main event, where we seen the Claymore connect to Jelly Roll. Well, now we will see a tag team matchup with Randy Orton and Jelly Roll teaming up to go up against the team of Logan Paul, the Maverick, and Drew McIntyre. I never thought I'd see the day, guys, when Drew McIntyre would team up with Logan Paul, but I guess the Scottish Warrior is willing to take take his game to new heights and team up with anybody if it means putting out the Viper, Randy Orton. But a big matchup, a big win here for Randy Orton on Saturday night's main event. And then backstage, we would see General Manager Adam Pearce and General Manager Nick Aldis getting into it with Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul after what happened in the actions that transpired after that matchup when Drew McIntyre Claymore Jelly Roll after Logan Paul shoved and antagonized Jelly Roll and attacked him during the matchup. What's going on, Jace? Thanks for hanging out in the channel. And guys, also after that, we would see during Saturday night's main event, Jade Cargill would be attacked by Miss Money in the Bank, Naomi. And we would find out breaking news that Bianca Belair returned to be the special guest referee for the No Holds Barred matchup at WWE's Evolution, where we would see Jade Cargill go one-on-one with one of her nemesis in WWE, Naomi, Miss Money in the Bank. And guys, next up after this, we would have our next match of the night. And this match would be for the WWE United States Championship, where we would see Jimmy Uso go one-on-one with Solo Sikoa. And guys, of course, with his MFTs at ringside, Solo Sikoa would have the numbers game in his favor. And that would play a big part in this matchup, where we would see Jimmy Uso fight his ass off in this matchup, really showing and proving why he belonged in the United States Championship picture in the first place. But chaos would ensue at the end of this matchup, and Solo Sikoa would get the victory here as he retains his United States Championship. A tough break for Jimmy Uso after the numbers game caught up to Jim. After the match, he would be attacked by the MFTs of Solo Sikoa, and then we would see Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf, would come and help out Jimmy Uso to try to even up the numbers game just a little bit. And guys, I'm really interested to see what's going to transpire now as we head into Friday Night SmackDown, because the numbers are still in the favor of Solo Sikoa and his MFTs, but you know Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu are not backing down from any challenge or any fight that Solo Sikoa and his goons are going to have for them, waiting for them at Friday Night SmackDown. As we get our next match of the night, guys, that would be Solo Sikoa getting the victory for it with his WWE United States Championship as he retains that championship. And then, guys, we would see it made official backstage as we see RK Roll. That's right, baby. The team of Randy Orton and Jelly Roll will be going in competition against Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam. The first time ever we will have a two-night SummerSlam premium live event in WWE's history. So this matchup definitely is going to be one of the most anticipated tag team matchups that we've had in recent years at SummerSlam. And then, guys, next up after this, and guys, we'll get to the comments here in just a little bit once we finish our recap here on this WWE show review. And guys, up next, we would have our next match of the night, which most people thought would be the main event of this particular match card on WWE's Saturday night's main event in Atlanta, Georgia, as we see Mr. Money in the Bank, Seth freaking Rollins, goes one-on-one with the megastar L.A. Knight. Yeah! And guys, man, these two would beat the living hell out of each other throughout this matchup. That was incredible. But at the end of the day, guys, LA Knight would hit the BFT, the blunt force trauma, to Seth Rollins as he gets the victory in this crucial matchup for the megastar. But guys, that's not the news everyone's talking about from this match. It's not LA Knight getting the victory. It's what happened during this matchup, where we have big breaking news in the WWE, because Seth freaking Rollins would injure his right knee in this matchup, and this was no work, folks, as it has been reported that this is a very serious right knee injury to Seth Rollins that could keep him out for months, out of action for months, which means what's going to happen with the Money in the Bank briefcase, I'm not sure, but this leaves the Oracle, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed with a big question mark heading into Monday Night Raw, Raw coming up tonight. But man, I want to wish Seth Rollins well, man, and I hope this injury isn't as bad as what we're reading online from the reports, because man, Seth Rollins was finally getting to the top of WWE, and now unfortunately he suffers a major right knee injury. So we're wishing him all the best and hope he gets well soon. Thank you guys for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And guys, LA Knight gets the victory here on Saturday night's main event, and this is a huge victory for him, because if you ask me, he needed this victory way more than Seth Rollins needed the victory, if you ask me. So this is huge for him, and what's coming up for him is, man, he's got another championship opportunity on Monday Night Raw tonight, so we'll have to wait and get to that just a little bit later in the show, guys. But thanks for hanging out here on the channel. Don't forget, please, guys, hit that like button and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show. So, guys, coming up next, the main event of the evening for WWE's Saturday night's main event in Atlanta, Georgia, would be the retirement match and final match of the legendary wrestler himself, Bill Goldberg, as he would go one-on-one with the World Heavyweight Champion, the Ring General Gunther. And guys, this was a hell of a main event matchup, and man, how about Goldberg really giving it his all, even though throughout this matchup, Gunther would go and attack the left knee with the knee brace on the older and more veteran of Bill Goldberg. And I tell you what, those knees took a beating in this matchup, because Gunther really focused hard on trying to beat down Goldberg so he couldn't use his big power maneuvers. But guys, we would see a spear and a jackhammer in this match to Gunther, but it would prove not to be enough, as Gunther would get the sleeper hold locked in on Bill Goldberg and get the victory to retain his World Heavyweight Championship. And Goldberg would send us all off at the end of Saturday night's main event, wishing us all well and thanking all his loved ones and everyone who's helped trail his path throughout his wrestling career. And as a big wrestling fan myself, I just want to say thank you to Bill Goldberg for everything you've contributed to WWE, to the wrestling industry in general. Us wrestling fans will never forget you, and you are a surefire WWE Hall of Famer, which is why you are in the Hall of Fame, and we will never forget your contributions to World Wrestling Entertainment and the wrestling industry. Thank you so much, Bill Goldberg. Best of luck to you in retirement. And how about Gunther? He now retains the World Heavyweight Championship, and now we'll have to look forward to finding out who will be the next #1 contender for the Ring General's World Heavyweight Championship. But thank you guys for hanging out here on the show. That's the review of WWE's Saturday night's main event. And guys, there was a lot of really good matchups here for me. The match of the night had to be Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. I thought they really killed it. And sadly, unfortunate news for Seth Rollins in this matchup as well. And guys, its grades here are pretty dang good across the board for that one as well. And how about Bianca Belair coming back, and she is going to be now the special guest referee in the No Holds Barred matchup at WWE Evolution? Well, guys, we would get to that matchup at WWE's Evolution, and that's the next premium live event that we're going to be reviewing here on Tim Reynolds Show's WWE Show Review. Thank you guys for hanging out on the channel. So, guys, WWE Evolution was a big success for WWE, and these matches were epic that we have to go over here with you guys. And I tell you what, we've seen a lot of craziness happen in the WWE, but nothing like we've seen at WWE Evolution. As we get to our first match of the night, this would be for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, as we see the champion Becky Lynch defend her title in a triple threat against Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. And these three women would put on a show and show off their athleticism and wrestling ability inside the squared circle. But man, at the end of it all, and still, your WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion is the veteran Becky Lynch, who said afterwards, and going viral on social media, said, "Don't call me Becky Hogan, I'm Becky fucking Lynch." That's right, guys, and Becky Lynch proves why she has been the baddest Women's Intercontinental Champion, because if you ask me, Becky Lynch was born to be the Women's Intercontinental Champion. Lyra Valkyria was a good champion to get us started off with this belt's reign, or this title reigns, when we created it, when WWE created it. But I tell you what, man, Becky Lynch gets a huge victory here in this matchup that, for me, gets an A across the board with how well this match went to kick off Evolution. And congratulations to Becky Lynch. And now, where does this go forward for Bayley and Lyra Valkyria? Well, you have to imagine we'll probably see a grudge match between these two, because I can't imagine the beef is done between Bayley and Lyra Valkyria just yet. But now we'll have to wait and find out who the next challenger will be for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, as Becky Lynch retains her title and moves on to Monday Night Raw. And guys, also just a little NXT one here, as we've seen the NXT Women's Championship on the line, where Jordynne Grace would go one-on-one with JC Jane, and it looks like Blake Monroe turns on Jace, and unfortunately that costs her the match, as we see JC Jane gets the victory to retain the Women's NXT Championship. And that's a tough break for Jordynne Grace, who's had a couple of chances now at winning that Women's NXT Championship. But now we'll have to see what happens going forward with this heel turn by Blake Monroe, one of the newest members of the WWE roster. And then, guys, next up after this, we would have one hell of a fatal four-way tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. And guys, we would see an epic matchup in this one, where Sol Ruka and Zakira, how do I mess up this freaking name all the time? Zarya, really put on a show from NXT. These women showing why they are definitely one of the best tag teams right now. But unfortunately, we would see Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss really steal the show in this one, with Asuka and Kairi Sane putting up a good fight as well. But it would be the champions who would come out successful and victorious in this fatal four-way tag team match, as we see Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez retain their WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. And this is Raquel Rodriguez's first win with Roxanne Perez as her partner as tag team champion, so a big win for them as we move on to Monday Night Raw. And then, guys, next up after this, we would see the WWE Women's Championship on the line, as Tiffany Stratton goes one-on-one with the WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus, who put on one hell of a show here in this championship matchup. But at the end of the day, it would be Tiffany Stratton who would get the victory, and not only put on a show, but she is still your WWE Women's Champion. Thank you, Trish Stratus, for all you've done throughout your wrestling career. What a match. You definitely showed off why you are one of the best wrestlers and trailblazers in the WWE Women's division of all time. And guys, Tiffany Stratton proves why she's really proving herself to be one of the better women champions in WWE right now. But speaking of WWE Women Champions, that's right, guys. After our next matchup, we've seen a new champion crown. But our next match would be the no-holds-barred match between Jade Cargill and Naomi, Miss Money in the Bank. And Jade Cargill would prove why she is the Storm, as she would take out Naomi after this brutal no-holds-barred matchup. I mean, dang, Naomi practically kicked Jade Cargill through a TV monitor right by the announcer's table, but Jade Cargill would overcome that all to win this no-holds-barred matchup and prove why she is the queen of the ring, and she is the #1 contender for Tiffany Stratton's WWE Championship. And now, guys, we would see next up after this, the Women's Battle Royal match, where Nikki Bella, the Hall of Famer, would join a lot of the women superstars there in this crazy matchup. And we would even see Chelsea Green, up to her no good tactics, trying to attack Nikki Bella, but she would get some help from Lola Vice from NXT. And we also will see on Monday Night Raw, Chelsea Green Queen will reportedly go one-on-one with Nikki Bella because of this interaction at the Battle Royal. But how about the woman who punched her ticket to the main event of WWE Clash in Paris? And that is Stephanie Valkyr, as she wins the Battle Royal match and now earns a championship opportunity at Clash in Paris. Congratulations to her, man. I cannot wait to see what is going to happen in her future. Man, possibly a championship reign here on the main roster. But guys, the match of the night and the match of the weekend was the main event match for WWE Evolution, where we would see the Women's World Championship on the line as Io Sky would defend her title against the challenger, the Eradicator, Mommy Rhea Ripley. And this match is going down as probably a match of the year candidate, as these two really teared up the ring there and showed us why this is the best women's roster across all of the wrestling industry. And Io Sky and Rhea Ripley prove why they're two of the best in WWE today. But guys, we would see Miss Money in the Bank come cash in her Money in the Bank briefcase and make this main event match a triple threat, which means no rules. She would use the briefcase to her advantage, and she would take advantage of the opportunity, cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase to win the Women's World Championship, as Naomi becomes your new Women's World Champion in the WWE. And this is huge for her as she cashes in that Money in the Bank briefcase and she's able to win. And guys, this is huge for WWE, as we will find out here later on Monday Night Raw what Naomi has to say after cashing in and winning the title. And we will also see a big matchup that has championship implications, where we could find out who the new number one contender will be for the World Heavyweight Championship. And in this gauntlet match on Monday Night Raw, we will see Penta, Braun Breaker, LA Knight, CM Punk, and Jey Uso battle it out. And we will determine who the number one contender will be for the World Heavyweight Championship. And that person who wins this gauntlet match will move on to take on Gunther at WWE SummerSlam. This is crazy, guys. What a matchup. And guys, thank you so much for hanging out here for this WWE show review here on Tim Reynolds Show, one of the most electrifying sports entertainment channels on YouTube today. It's Tim Reynolds Show. Now let's go. Thank you guys so much for hanging out here on the channel. What a crazy weekend it was. And guys, also some big breaking news. Seth Rollins, that injury to his right knee, he's reportedly gonna miss 4 to 6 months with that right knee injury. We don't actually know the extent of that injury at this moment, or at least news that I've received thus far, which is a big bummer, because we've seen a lot of big injuries in the WWE's main roster, especially with Kevin Owens and even more recently Liv Morgan, who has suffered a dislocated shoulder. Kevin Owens with the neck injury, and we've seen a lot of injuries throughout WWE's main roster, but this is a big one. Seth Rollins, who is definitely starting to make it as one of the top guys in WWE, and now there's a whole faction and the Money in the Bank briefcase to try to consider what to do with going forward, but we'll have to see what happens. But please make sure you guys tune in to Tim Reynolds Show's WWE Live play-by-play for Monday Night Raw coming up tonight and Friday Night SmackDown coming up later in the week. And thank you, wrestling fans, for all the love and support. Please make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show, and we'll see you guys next time for another episode of WWE Show Review right here on Tim Reynolds Show, one of the most electrifying sports entertainment channels on YouTube and social media today. Thank you guys for all the support and love. We'll see you next time. Peace out, everybody.